Based on the performance and based on the control over the data, it will going to divide. You must remember what are all the slots or ports which is resides on that particular type of motherboard. So it will going to have a control over the data transparency between the components of a motherboard. Basic input-output system, it will going to load the hardware settings when the computer is turned on. The abbreviations or expansion of this AT motherboard is what? Advanced technology. Hello everyone, myself Rohini TS, Computer Science Faculty, Vidyashram Pre-University College, Mysore. So, in previous session, we had a discussion regarding introduction about this first chapter, that is typical configuration of a computer system. And also we discussed about block diagram or components of a computer system, right? So, there what are all the things that we had there? Yes. There we have what? Input unit, CPU. So, in CPU, there we have what? Control unit, arithmetic logic unit, then registers. After that, another component is memory unit, right? So, later on we had what? Output unit, right? So, after the functioning components or block diagram of a computer, we had a discussion regarding motherboard, okay? That will be important topic for your examination. So, there we had a discussion regarding what you mean by motherboard and how it will be characterized. Okay, what are the three characteristics that will going to fetch the details about that motherboard? There we have form factor, chipset and processor socket. Okay, so coming to this session, in this today's session, I will be discussing regarding the continuation of that thing, that is types of motherboard. Okay, so in this session what I have these types of motherboard. Then I am going to discuss about what are all the components of a motherboard. There we have several components. So, among those components, I will be discussing regarding this processor or CPU, then BIOS and CMOS. So, we'll discuss it one by one right now. So, we are going to divide or we are going to categorize the motherboard based on the type of processor that we are going to use. So, the processor which we are going to choose, based on that we are going to categorize a motherboard into several types. So, it may include AT motherboard, XT motherboard, ATX motherboard, baby AT motherboard. Okay, there are several versions. Based on the processor, type of processor that we are going to use, then this motherboard has been classified into 4 types. So, coming to the first type of a motherboard, what we have here? So, here we have XT motherboard. So, while reading for the components of a motherboard, at the time you have to concentrate 4 points. So, while learning about the components of a motherboard, you have to focus on 4 points only. Let me show you what are all that 4 components. So, first you have to understand or first you have to get to know the abbreviation or expansion of that type of motherboard. So, that is known as what? Expansion. For example, here I have XT motherboard, right? What do you mean by that XT? I am going to elaborate it. Right? So, first I need to concentrate on its elaborations or abbreviation, right? So, second point, I need to consider what are all the ports, slots or any other components which is reside in that motherboard. So, I need to concentrate on the ports or slots or any other component which is reside on the motherboard. That will be the second point. So, next I need to concentrate on the number of pin power connector which it has. So, I must concentrate on the number of pin power connector for a particular type of motherboard. So, what will be the 4th point then? So, I just get to know the example. That means the type of a processor which is based on this kind of motherboard. So, there you have to keep it in mind 4 points. First, you have to remember its abbreviations or what expansion. The second point is that you must remember what are all the slots or ports which is resides on that particular type of motherboard. Then you have to concentrate on the number of pin power connector. So after that, you have to concentrate on one or more example, which belongs to this kind of motherboard. So fourth point is what? Example. So these are the 4 basic points that you have to concentrate while reading about a type of a motherboard. I hope you all understood with this 4 points. Now we'll see what you mean by this XT motherboard. So what was the first point? I must get to know its abbreviation, right? So in the same way, XT is nothing but what? It is an extended technology. So XT stands for what? Extended technology. So coming to the second point, you just remember what are all the components or slots or any ports which resides in particular type of motherboard. So we'll see what are all the components or what are all the slots or any ports which resides in this type of motherboard. So as we all know that these are all the old model motherboards. Currently we are not using this XT kinds of motherboard because this is outdated and we are not using this kind of motherboard. And here you have to concentrate what are all the components or what are all the contents that we have in this type of motherboard. So you just remember these points. Here we have LIF socket and RAM slots. Then we have ISA slots and all. So you just need to remember the slots or the sockets which we are going to use in this type of motherboard. So here we can find LIF, that is low insertion force sockets. Then we have RAM slots here. After that, within RAM we have DIMM, that is dual inline memory modules. Then we have ISA slots, that is industry standard architecture. So those are all the things or components which reside in that kind of motherboard. Okay, what will be the third point? We have to concentrate on the number of pin power connector. So here we are going to have 12 pin power connector. Okay, they are all the slot type processor. It has no ports. Getting? So it has no ports. It has only what? Slot type of the connectors or slot type processor. Here we don't have any ports. Getting? Then, so coming to the example. So Pentium 1, Pentium MMX, Pentium 2 and Pentium Pro are the example for this XT motherboard. Let me recap this XT motherboard. So XT is nothing but what? Extended technology. So coming to the second point, there we have LIF, ISA and then what? RAM slots will be there and then we have DIMM. Within the RAM, there we have DIMM type of slots. After that, it is a 12 pin power connector. And it has slots type processor, not ports. Then examples for this XT motherboards are what? Pentium 1, Pentium MMX, Pentium 2 and Pentium processor, that is Pentium Pro. So here you can see the image of this XT motherboard. So there we don't have any kinds of port. It's all based on the slot type of processor. Getting? So let me move on to the next type of motherboard, that is AT motherboard. So here also I am going to concentrate on only 4 points, right? So AT motherboard is nothing but what? It is an advanced technology. The abbreviations or expansion of this AT motherboard is what? Advanced technology. Then what are all the slots or any ports which resides in this kind of motherboard? We'll see now. So this motherboard, this kind of motherboard has PGA, that is pin grid array sockets, and I have this SDRAM slots. So here I have what? PGA slots, PGA sockets and SDRAM slots. After that I have 20 pin power connector PCI sockets here. So here we have 20 pin power connectors. So in previous we had what? 12 pin power connector. So upgradation of that motherboard will lead to this 20 pin power connector. So later on this, the size, that means we are depicting the dimensions or its form factor. So as I told earlier, due to these characteristics of a motherboard, there we have discussed regarding form factor. What do you mean by that? Form factor will going to give us the dimensions or the geometry of a motherboard. That means how the components must be allocated and what must be the arrangements. So in the same way, here also we have 12-inch wide and 13.8-inch deep. So this is the dimension of this AT motherboard. And this AT has 5-pin large keyboard connector. So this AT consists of what? 5-pin large keyboard connector. It has keyboard connector in it. So what is the example then? Here Pentium 3 processor is the example for this AT motherboard. So this is all regarding this AT motherboard. So you have to keep it in mind. What do you mean by this, that AT? Advanced technology. After that, here we have only two kinds of slot, that is PGA and SDRAM. So after that we have what? 5-pin keyboard connector. Then we have 20-pin power connector, and Pentium 3 processor will be the example for this AT motherboard. We'll move on to the next type. So the next type of motherboard is baby AT motherboard. Okay, as the name indicates, baby AT. What it could be then? So it is a combination of XT and AT. So we are going to get this baby AT motherboard by the combination of XT and AT. Then what it could be will going to do? That means what? It has a ability to acquire the properties of both AT and XT. So what are all the features of that XT motherboard and what are all the features of AT motherboard, that you have to remember. So coming to this baby AT, so here baby AT is nothing but what? Baby advanced technology motherboard. So it combines, or it is made up of what? Combination of AT and XT motherboard. Fine. So it is a combination of AT and XT. So coming to this baby AT motherboard, so it was the first PC motherboard which is built in the sockets for IO ports. Okay, that you have to keep it in mind, and which were cable to connector on the back of this case. That means you can see that at the rear end we can see this kind of motherboard port. So then it has 20 and 12-pin power connector. So there in XT we have 12-pin power connector, and in AT there we have what? 20-pin power connector. If it is a combination of those two, then it has the ability to include both 12 and 20-pin power connector. Okay, that you have to keep it in mind. Then coming to the example, Pentium 3 was the example for what? AT kind of motherboard, right? So for baby AT also we have the type, or we have the example Pentium 3 and Pentium 4. So coming to this baby AT motherboard, it is a combination of AT and XT. It is the first kind of PC motherboard. There it is built on the sockets for IO ports, that is for input and output ports. And it were cable to connector on the back of the case. And it has what? 20 as well as the 12 pin power connector. Based on our requirement, we can go with any of the pin power connector. And example is Pentium 3 and Pentium 4. So it's all about this baby AT motherboard. We'll move on to the last type of motherboard, that is AT motherboard. And let me show you the image of that baby AT motherboard. So here you can see that. So this motherboard has what? Both the combination of AT and XT. Okay. And here also we have the image for this AT motherboard. Yes. We'll move on to the last type of motherboard. Okay, so that is what? ATX motherboard. So ATX motherboard. First, I need to think about its elaborations or what? Abbreviation, right? So coming to that point, here I have what? Advanced Technology Extended Motherboard. So ATX in the sense what? Advanced Technology Motherboard. So it is the latest motherboard of all the personal computers or desktop computers. So currently we are all using this kind of motherboard. So in this motherboard we have, what are all the things that we have in this kind of motherboard? There we have MPGA processor socket, DDR RAM, then AGP slots will be there, SATA connectors are there. So these are all the components which resides in this kind of motherboard. It is very, very important, ATX motherboard. Currently we are all using this kind of motherboard in our desktop computers. And it has what? 20-pin and 24-pin power connector. So if the number of pins are more, then it also increases the performance of a computer. Then it is a full-size board measuring 12 inches wide and 9.6 inches deep. So here we are giving the dimension. What will be the form factor of this type of motherboard? So actually this ATX motherboard is a standard that we have to follow. In current systems or in the PCs or desktop computers, we are following this ATX standards. that is ATX form factor. Getting? So there we have what? 12 inches wide and 9.6 inches deep, and if it is micro ATX, then we have 9.6 cross 9.6 inches wide and deep. So, and you can see this ATX motherboard here. So, this kind of motherboards are mainly used for gaming and high performance, or for the high resolution, then we have to go with this kind of motherboard. So, it is regarding this ATX motherboard. So, you have to concentrate on what? What is the abbreviation? Then what are all the components? And how many pin power connectors are there? Then one or more example. So, here you can see the examples like i3, i5, then i7 processor, then dual core. Okay, so these are all the example for this ATX kind of motherboard. We are done with the types of motherboard. So in the types, there we have 4 types based on the type of processor that we are going to use. XT, AT, baby AT motherboard, then ATX motherboard. So we'll move on to the next topic, that is general structure of a motherboard. So while revising the concept of CPU, there we have to remember what is the primary function of that CPU. It will going to fetches the data, that means input unit will going to fetches the data that will be fed into the CPU, right? So that data and instruction will going to process in the CPU based on the requirement of a user. So the primary function of a processor is to execute the instruction which is given, and it will going to produce the result. In order to produce that kind of result, or in order to process that kind of data, then first we need to fetch that data and instruction. So this motherboard will going to help that CPU to fetch the data from the input unit or from the memory. So this motherboard will going to fetches the instructions and data from the memory, and it will going to perform the required operation based on the user requirement. So first working of CPU is, primary working of CPU is what? It will going to process the data. If it want to process the data, then that must be in the memory, right? So if I want to process any data, then that must be in the primary memory. So this motherboard will going to fetch the data from the primary memory, and it will allow to perform a required task. So while considering the structure of motherboard, there we have to concentrate on the 2 points. Whether the components or the contents which is belongs to north bridge or north chip, or whether it is belongs to south chip. Okay, so there we have to concentrate 2 points, north bridge and south bridge. So these are all the 2 chips on the core logic chipset of a motherboard. So one we have north bridge, another is south bridge. So coming to the north bridge. So north bridge is also known as north chipset. Already we had a discussion regarding chipset. What is the working of chipset? So that will have a control over the data transfer between the components of a motherboard, right? In the same way, this Northway chipset or north bridge. So it is also known as what? Host bridge. So this north bridge or north chipset is also known as what? Host bridge or host chipset. Why? Because it is responsible for controlling of the high speed of a component. Then what are all the high speeds of a component? There we can expect the CPU, RAM, chipset and bus speed control, then switch control, and it will going to induce that. And it will going to have a control over the data transfer between the various components of a motherboard, right? So north chipset or north bridge will going to have a control over high speed data or high speed components. That is, it will have a control over CPUs and then RAM chipset, and it will also controls the bus speed. That means how the data must be communicate with one another component. It will act like what? Traffic signal. So it will going to have a control over the data transparency between the components of a motherboard. So, and it will going to ensure that data is back and forth between the components in a smooth and continuous manner. That means what? There must be at least one data and instruction which is to be processed. So in CPU should not be idle. There must be some data and instruction which is to be processed. So this NOR bridge will going to ensure that there must be some data. So there must be some backends and there must be some processing or process which must be takes place. It will have a control over the data. It will going to check the traffic signals or traffic control between the data transfer of a various components of computer system, and it will also will have the control over speed of a RAM and CPU. Then coming to this South bridge or South chipset. So this is also similar to this North chipset or North bridge, but compared to this North bridge, South bridge are slower. So it will going to perform the same operation but it is slower, right? So that is the difference between North bridge and South bridge. So what are all the components that which resides in this South bridge then? So it has a components like what? Sound card, net card and hard disk. So these are all the components which is belongs to South bridge. So coming to the structure of a motherboard, there we have to concentrate on 2 points. Whether the components, which components belongs to North bridge and what are all the components which belongs to South bridge. If it is belongs to North bridge or North chipset, then it has a control over the data. So it will going to schedule the data and it will going to allocate some time for that. Okay, within that time it has to perform its operation, right? In the same way, this South bridge is also have a control over the data, but compared to that North bridge, the South bridge are slower. And it includes what? Sound card, net card and then hard disk. It is regarding this general structure of a motherboard. And here you can see the image. So here we have North bridge. So here you can see the components which is belongs to this North bridge, and also here we have this South bridge. So you can see the components which is related to this kind of South bridge. Okay, there will be two kinds of partition in the motherboard, whether it is belongs to South bridge or North bridge. So based on the performance and based on the control over the data, it will going to divide. So it's regarding this general structure of a motherboard. And coming to this types of motherboard, so this is very important for 3 marks question. So types of motherboards are very important for 3 marks question that you have to concentrate. So we'll move back to this general structure. So after the general structure, what is the next agenda or next topics to be covered in this session? Yeah, that is components of a motherboard. So already we know what you mean by motherboard and how it is characterized and how it will be classified or categorized. After all these things, we also get to know that how it will be structured. That means what will be the dimensions, how the arrangements of the components will be there. So in this session, we'll see how the components or what are all the components which is belongs to this motherboard. So coming to the components of motherboard, firstly we have what? Processor or CPU. What are all the components of motherboard? That is processor or CPU. Then we have BIOS, that is BIOS, then CMOS, then we have slots, disk controller, IO ports and interfaces, then at last we have bus. So these are all the components of a motherboard, and this question is also important for 3 marks. And also you can see that image which is displaying here. It consists of all the components of a motherboard. So here you can see that CMOS batteries are there, and what CPU socket is there, and RAM slots will be there, and also you can see the South bridge and North bridge. So here you can see the South bridge and North bridge, and we have slots here. So these are all the components of a motherboard. So without wasting much of time, let me get into this first component. What is this first component? CPU. That is also known as what? Processor. Already we had a large discussion regarding this CPU, right? So what do you mean by that CPU? So you just recall all the things which is done in the first session. Okay, let me brief it out. So CPU is nothing but what? Central processing unit. Okay, it is also known as brain of a computer because it controls and coordinates most of the work, right? So that CPU is known as what? Brain of a computer system. And what are all the subcomponents which is resides in the CPU? ALU, CU and then registers, right? So coming to this ALU, that is arithmetic and logic unit. So it will have a control over all the calculation part, right? So that is, it will have a control over arithmetic operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division and modulus. So coming to this logical operations, logical and or not. So coming to the second component of a CPU, that is control unit. So this control units controls and coordinate most of the work and it will have a control over various components of a computer. So that is regarding CU. It has a responsibility regarding the organizing and processing of the data and instructions. It will have a control over data transfer between the various components of a computer system. And this coming to this registers, so it is a temporary storage which is helpful to store the data and instruction and mainly to store the intermediate data which is immediately required for the processing. Okay, that is regarding CPU. Yes, so here you have to note 3 points while learning the CPU component. So let me see one by one. So there we have clock speed and CPU performance. Then what do you mean by microprocessor? These are all the questions very important for 1 marks. All these questions are important for 1 marks. So most of the time they have asked about what do you mean by microprocessor. So you have to concentrate on this note. Let me see the first thing. What do you mean by this clock speed? So clock speed is nothing but it is a measure of processor's operating speed. It will going to measure the operating speed. Number of clock ticks is more, then the CPU's performance will be high and the CPU working procedure will be high. That is known as what? Clock speed. If the number of clock ticks per second is more, then the CPU is faster. Then how we are going to check this speed? With the help of this megahertz and gigahertz. So it will be measured in terms of megahertz and gigahertz. That is million instructions per second. Here that means what? Million instruction clock per second and here billion instruction clock per second. Getting? That is regarding the measurement of this clock speed. So for moving into the next, that is CPU's performance. How we are capable to analyze the CPU performance? How we are going to find the CPU performance? So it is measured by the number of instructions executed per second. Just imagine the million instruction will going to execute per second or it could be billion also. Just imagine the speed of the processing. Right? So CPU performance, if it is megahertz or MIPS, that is million instruction per second or billion instructions per second. So that depicts the CPU's performance. If the speed is high, then the CPU's performance will also be high. So coming to that point, it is a measurement of that execution of an instruction per second. So here we are going to check the number of instruction which is executed per second. So it can be measured in terms of MIPS and BIPS. MIPS is nothing but million instruction per second and BIPS is billion instructions per second. So let me move on to this microprocessor. This is very important for 1 marks question. What do you mean by this microprocessor? It is a tiny chip. Already we know what do you mean by chip and all, right? So that has a control over the data transfer between the various components of a computer system. So this microprocessor is also going to do the same thing, right? So it is an electronic component and it is a single integrated circuit. That is also known as what? IC chip, right? So it is a tiny chip and the size of that microprocessor is not so large. It is a tiny chip and it contains the entire computation machine within it. So computer is mainly manufactured or developed due to the calculation purpose, right? So for that we require this microprocessor which is resides in the CPU itself. So that this microprocessor is going to have the entire computation engine within it. Then what are all the example for this kind of microprocessor? You can see that Intel microprocessor is there, then AMD, then Celeron. So these are all the points that you have to remember while learning about the CPU component. So what do you mean by clock speed and how we are going to measure that speed, and what do you mean by CPU performance? That means how we are capable to measure the CPU performance later on, then microprocessor. So this is all regarding the first component of a motherboard, that is what? CPU or processor. Let me get into the second component of a motherboard. What is the second component? BIOS. Let me get into that. So BIOS is the second component of a motherboard. So what do you mean by that BIOS? That is nothing but what? It is a basic input and output system. So BIOS or abbreviation. So in first chapter you have to concentrate on the expansions. So it will be helpful for you in order to get a complete marks in the first chapter. So be concentrate on the expansions. So this abbreviation or expansion of BIOS is also important for 1 marks. What do you mean by that? BIOS, basic input output system. So BIOS is a small chip on the motherboard that holds a set of instructions to load the hardware settings. It is very, very important. So what is the working procedure of this BIOS? What is its main thing? So it will going to have a control over the hardware devices. So it will going to load the hardware settings for the keyboard, mouse or any other components or any other hardware components which belongs to the computer system. When the computer is turned on, at that time this BIOS will going to check the performance or availability of the hardware devices. Let me get into the next point. This BIOS run when the computer is switched on. So when we are going to turn on the computer system, at that time this BIOS will going to run. That means what? It will going to start its working. That means what? Then it will have a control over the hardware settings. So this is also known as what? Post test. That means power on self test. So when the computer is turned on, at that time it will going to check or it will going to test by itself. That is power on self test. It will going to check the ability or availability of all the components. That means hardware components like keyboard, mouse, and it will have a control over scanner, printer. If it is connected to the computer system, it will going to load that hardware instructions. And it will going to check whether all the hardware devices are working properly or not. If not, then it has to notify the user. For example, let me take one example. If you inserted any pen drives or any other external devices into the computer system, at that time you are going to get a notification or a pop-up message, right? So that is due to this BIOS working procedure. That BIOS will going to notify that if any external device is added to the computer system or any other devices or hardware devices which is not working properly, then this BIOS will going to notify the user. That is the working of this BIOS. So BIOS is nothing but what? Basic input output system. It will going to load the hardware settings when the computer is turned on. And it is based on the POST, that is power on self test. When the computer is get started or when the computer is switched on, at that time this BIOS will going to run. And it will going to check the procedure or it will going to check the availability of all the hardware devices, whether it is working properly or not. If it is working properly, then no problem. If it is not, then it will going to notify the user. So that we are going to get a pop-up messages when the USB cable is connected to the computer system. Okay, that is due to the BIOS working procedure. Here you can see the image of BIOS. It is a small chip, so which resides on the motherboard. So this is a second component of a motherboard, that is BIOS. So what is the third component of a motherboard then? That is CMOS. That is what? Complementary metal oxide semiconductor. Here also you can expect this abbreviation for 1 marks. So this is also important for 1 marks. That is CMOS, complementary metal oxide semiconductor. So coming to this CMOS, it is mainly belongs to what? It is a kind of memory chip. and it will going to store the data and instructions, and it will going to store the set of parameters. It will have a control over date, time and calendar of a computer system. So these parameters will going to load every time when the computer is started. So when we are going to start the computer, that means when we are going to turn on the computer, at that time the CMOS will going to load all the parameter settings into the memory or to the operating system. And this BIOS and CMOS are kept powered by the small lithium ion battery which is located on the motherboard. So let me move on to this second point. It is a type of memory chip in order to store the date, time and system set of parameter. Have you observed when you are going to turn on your mobile phones or the system, at that time we are going to get a proper time and date, right? So that is due to the working of this CMOS batteries. So this CMOS battery will going to have a control over the date and time, and it will also going to store the data, and it will also going to store the details regarding the set of parameter. If we have any default parameters or default settings, that will be stored in the CMOS. When we are going to turn on the computer system, at that time it will going to load all the details into the memory. So this is the thing, or this is the fact, we are going to get a correct timings and date due to the CMOS. So coming to the CMOS, there you have to concentrate what is its abbreviations or expansion. Complementary metal oxide semiconductor, and it will going to hold the details regarding date, time and system parameters, and it can also include any scheduling. For example, in the system you may schedule some meetings on a particular time, date and timings. So that details will be carried, or that details will be controlled by this CMOS. So because all the data regarding date, time and all the set of parameters, it can be any default parameters or a changed one, right? So that will be stored in this CMOS batteries. So when it is turned on, when the computer system is turned on, at that time it will going to load all these kind of data into the memory. So this is all regarding the CMOS, and here you can see the image of this CMOS. So it is a tiny coin like that. So it will located on the motherboard. So yes, it's all about its today's session. So in today's session, we had a discussion regarding these types of motherboard, and then coming to the components of a motherboard, there I have discussed 3 components, that is processor or CPU, BIOS and CMOS. So it is all about today's session. In the coming session, we are going to learn more about components. Until that, keep learning, keep on growing. Thank you.